Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another MoBetta trading episode. Man, I know it's been a minute since we've been back on. I think the last video we made, we were up at 100K. And in that video, I talked about how we lose 100K here. There's a lot of air beneath. We might have some support at the $93,000 area. And below that, there's nothing but air down to 80. I said down to 85K if I'm not mistaken. But, as we ended up breaking 100K, of course, we traded all the way straight down to $80,000 damn near. And now we've just been settling out, right? So, if you have been trading Bitcoin, really has been offering some absolutely awesome trading opportunities. Especially as it's built this range up here. It's been a really solid range to trade. If you have been invested in Bitcoin, listen, whether you're trading or whether you're invested, you should actually be extremely happy that we have these prices right now. Now, I know the bull in everybody wants to see Bitcoin trade to $300,000 straight up and never return, but that's just not how these things work, right? That is not how these things work. And they never will, and you're going to have to live with that fact. If you aren't invested in Bitcoin, we're 40% off the highs, man. 40% off the highs. Nearly. Okay. Well, as it stands, we're about 30% off the highs. So we're trading at a 30% discount. You can't really be mad at that. Any lower that it goes, as an investor, you should be excited. As a trader, it offers plenty of trading opportunities. So either way, it's really a win-win. The only thing that hates seeing Bitcoin at this price level is ego and pockets, right? Like, yeah, you want to see it go up because then your money goes up. But if you're playing the long game, the cheaper you can get Bitcoin, the better. If you're trading daily, if you're day trading, or if you're swing trading, whatever, you've had plenty of opportunities to make some really good money in this market. But none of that is neither here nor there. Where we are at currently is what matters, and what you're going to do going forward, what we can expect going forward. That is what matters, right? So, obviously, as we take a look here, this is Bitcoin on the daily chart. We can see that we have created a hard cap resistance at about $93,500. And we have a pretty hard cap support area at about $83,920. So between 93,200 and say 94,000 and 84,000, about 500, we are just ranging, right? We're just going side to side, and who knows how long this could last. This could go on for fucking ever, and then we finally get some relief, or maybe we break down and we go lower. Okay, we're not here to predict what is going to happen. I'm just going to show you what the charts are looking like right now, how I'm approaching the charts, what I'm looking for personally, and what comes after that. We'll have to adjust. But as it stands right now, we are sitting in a range here at 93,000. We'll call this 94,000. Fine, $94,000, and our support is about 84,400. Okay, now we are at range lows. So the thing that most people make mistakes on when they're trading is they treat a range as a trending environment, right? So you want to get in sales, and you want to get in buys, you want to hold them, and you don't want to have to do anything. Well, that's how you round trip, right? That's how you make no money. That's how you give back all your profits. When it trades like a range, you trade it like a range until it proves that it is no longer ranging and it is ready to start a new trend. It has not proven that yet. Okay, so as it stands, we are creating a bullish candle right now on an area of support. This is where we've had a previous push away. We've had a previous push away back up towards $94,000. If we can get a bullish candle created on support, we have 3 hours until this candle closes, right? If this daily candle can close bullish on support, then you can expect or you can anticipate that the next daily candle, as long as it respects this low, if we create a wick down and then we break the candle's high, I would say break the previous daily candle's high even would be better at 88,000, say like 200. If we can get a break above 88,200, then we have clean range on the daily time frame to at least take it back towards the top of the range at 93,000. Whether it goes higher than that, whether it reaches 93,000, who knows what it's going to do until it does it. But we can anticipate that at this point, as things are setting up right now, we can anticipate if we break above the previous or this current daily high, we have clean range of red candles to take back up to support. Now maybe we get up to, or back up towards resistance, excuse me. Now maybe we get up here and we reject again, and then we kind of start petering out and it takes us lower. That's fine. We can make an adjustment when it comes to that point. Take your trade off or take your profit or whatever the case may be, right? And I'm not saying that the candle is going to look like this, right? I'm not saying we're going to break this high and then we're going to go straight up for 94K. It's possible, but I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. In a bullish scenario, though, and we get a bullish candle to close on top of support and we break this high, then the next logical area is the next resistance, which is at 94,000. That would be the next logical area to take profit until price proves otherwise. Okay, that would be on the long side. So, let me just say that again. We close this daily candle bullish. If the next daily candle wicks down, respects this daily low, and then breaks the high of this daily candle, we have clean range up towards $94,000. Okay. On the other hand, if instead we close this candle bullish and we cannot break this candle's high and instead create a wick up that respects this candle's high, right? And then we break this candle's low, this daily candle's low, and we close a candle below 84,000 and we close it bearish. Yeah, this is terrible. Whatever. You understand where the wick is supposed to go, right? Okay, say we close the candle bearish, not blue, but red instead. Not blue, but red instead. Okay, if we close this candle bearish and it closes below this area of support, then we have a clean range to fill this wick lower towards 80,000. And even below that, you have all of this area that price can come and trade down into. And if it's going to break this low or break this support, it is likely headed towards the next area of support at 76,000. Okay, so you could fill the wick, maybe take some profits on the wick, and then hold until we get to the lows here. Or you could just hold full profit until we get to the lows, or until you see a candle develop in a way that makes you want to get out. Okay, so those are on a higher time frame, those are the two scenarios that I'm looking for right now to be able to get involved if you wanted to get involved in a swing trade. But the overall direction of the market right now is undecided. It's not going anywhere. It's sideways, right? So we have to let the market tell us what it wants to do next. The indication that it wants to go lower would be a break of support at 84,400, would be a break in the close below there. Just like, below here, right? The indication that we wanted to go lower was the fact that we got a daily candle to break and close below this area of support. Okay. We got this. Once this candle on Thursday closed below support, that was your indication that price wants to go lower. Okay. Now you could have waited until price broke this low, put your stop above this high. You could have just entered immediately as this candle opened, knowing that we broke below support with a strong candle that had a wick to the downside and a larger wick to the upside, which means it's going to be harder for price to retrace up. or to move up, and it broke straight down. And where did it go? Broke through this area of support, said, yeah, this is not support for me. This is not support for me. This is not support for me. Price basically told you it didn't care about this, told you it didn't care about this, except for very briefly. And it wanted to come back and take out all of this area here, okay? Very clean range. Again, clean ranges, okay? Now, keeping that in mind, again, same principle, the same principles apply here. Breaking below 84,500 gets you, again, a indication that price wants to continue lower, at least to fill this wick. Doesn't necessarily have to come all the way back down to 76K, but it's very plausible and possible that it does do that, okay? At the same time, if price were just to wick down here, much like it did here or here, right? So maybe we just get a wick down, and then the body closes above this area, then that would also be an indication that maybe we're going to trade back higher and come up into this area of support, okay? Again, the trade that you would want to take, or where you would be wanting to get out of a trade or be looking to take profit if you're on the long side, is here at 94,000 until we can get a candle that breaks and closes above here, okay? A break and a close above 94,000, maybe even better to break above like 96,000, but I'd say a break and a close above 94,000 should probably do the trick. Would be an indication that we're at least ready to go fill this gap and retest the underside of where we broke down from 100K. Now, obviously, we still have a lot of work to do, and this could take several days. It could even take weeks for that to happen, right? So I'm not trying to tell you that, I'm not trying to give you the trade to take right now, right? But these are ideas, and these are things that you want to be looking for and keeping in mind if you are going to place a trade, how you'd want to enter, where you would be looking to exit, where are you wrong, okay? Where would you be wanting to take profits at? All of these things have to be in your mind. What kind of candle do you want to see form? How would the best bullish candle form for your strategy, right? All of these things have to be taken into consideration, okay? So, again, we're in a range here. This is a huge range. It's a $10,000 range. Until we break one way or another, you just treat this as a range. As we create a bullish candle, if this is a strong bullish candle created here, meaning that the body is more than 50% of the candle, you don't want the wick to be bigger than the body, right? As long as the body is bigger than the candle itself, than the candle wicks, then that's a strong bullish candle in my opinion, okay? A break above that bullish candle would signal that we want to go and test the next resistance area. All right. So I don't want to beat a dead horse and say the same thing 50 times, but it's very, very simple. Break and close below here, and we trade lower. Close bullish, break above this high, and we can move higher up into resistance and see how we react around here. Maybe we chop around and then get out. Maybe we chop around and then break down like we did up here, right? It's very possible that we stay in this range for quite some time, okay? Keep in mind also, it's the middle of the month. You know, I know Santa rallies have been prominent in the past, but this Santa rally is more like Santa sliding down the chimney, banging your wife, taking your tree, and going home, right? And leaving you no presents. Doesn't even leave you any coal. He just says, fuck you, and leaves, okay? So you don't want to get too biased either way. Until this range breaks, there's no reason to be biased in either direction. You have to take what the market is presenting for you and trade it that way. Okay? So I'm not gonna say it 100 times, but again, as long as we're creating support at a range low in an area of support, then we have opportunity to move higher. Okay? The invalidation would be a candle breaking below here, closing below here, and then being able to move down lower. All right, boom. So that is Bitcoin. Until really, until either of those things happen, you kind of just milk this range the best that you can, right? Like this is going to offer you really great trading opportunities. And again, this is on the daily time frame. So if you were to drop into the 4 hour, you probably see some even better opportunities, right? Like if we were to be able to break above this area here now that we've created resistance. Now that we've created resistance, right? How do I know that we've created resistance? Mr. MoBetta, how do you know if we created resistance? Hello, there's a bearish candle after a bullish candle. That is called resistance. If we're able to break a candle above here and close above this area, I would even say if we could break above this bearish candle high, well, then you have range to trade up into about the $90,000 area, okay, before we reach our next area of resistance. All right, maybe you decide to take some profit off there and just catch a really, a really fat trade opportunity right here. That's almost a 2.5% trade. All right. For me personally, I don't think that you can. I would say it'd be more risky to take any bearish trades or any shorts at this point. Really until we broke and closed below 85,700 at least, right? Because why? On the 1 hour time frame, look at all this. You have support here, you have support here, you have support here. So you could break this candle's low, but then what are the odds? Maybe it just wicks down and then bounces back up, right? Or maybe it trades down into here, gets to this low and then boom, it trades back up, right? There's so many things that can happen. The only clear cut trade opportunity that there is right now is if we trade above, say, 88,000. If we can close above 88,000, we have clean range to your next support or to your next resistance around 90K. Okay, this would be a great trade to capture. All right, now what would get me to short in this area? Well, if we were to be able to push up here and maybe we break the high, but then we close back below here and we just kind of consolidate, okay, break below this area, boom. Then with volume in a high volume session, New York, London, pre-New York, Asian Open, any of those, with volume, we would be able to break these supports, okay, and continue pushing down. Without volume, you're likely just to get chopped around, okay? So, and I mean, that's true for anything, even for this. The only way that we're going to be able to break through this resistance and continue moving up is during a high volume time. High volume time. HVT. I just made that up. You need high volume. You need high volume. You need high volume to trade, period. Okay? Without volume, price is not going to go anywhere. And then you're just going to chop your account up. All right? But as it stands right now, like, look at how choppy this is. This is so ugly. You don't want to get involved with this. Maybe you'd want to get involved if we got a candle to break below 87,000. Okay? Maybe you'd want to get involved in a short if we were able to break and close below 87,000. And that's because then below here, you have an area about a 1% range, maybe even greater if it wants to come down this way. But you have about a 1% range where price could move. And it's still a decent short opportunity. Okay? But as it stands right now, there's just nothing to do. It's chopping here and it's chopping here. You just sit on your hands. Okay? Now, on the getting away from maybe the day trading side of it, if we're just looking at this from a higher time frame perspective on the weekly time frame, right? If you're just wondering, well, what should we expect in the coming days, weeks, months, etc.? Nobody can predict what is going to happen. But again, we're still just ranging. Even here, we're still just ranging, right? Now, it would appear we obviously have bearish momentum. We're in a heavily bearish trend right now, an obviously bearish trend, right? We've had fucking no green candles essentially. All the green candles have been just eaten up or fucking shitty. Okay, so on a higher time frame, if you were to look at this, or if you were to look at this on a lower time frame, you would say the same thing. Okay, well, if we get a candle to close below this area, below 85,000, 86,000, say below 86,000, the candle closed below 86,000, you fill the wick, you probably come down even lower to test this support and see how price reacts here at around 78,000. If it just blows through 78,000, the next area of support is not until we get to about 67,600, right? And people will look at that and be like, oh, it's not going to go to 67,600. Yeah, well, when it was at 126,000, it was not going to come back below 100,000 either, right? 100,000 was never going to be broken, and look at where we are now. Anything can happen in this fucking market, okay? And if somebody tells you that they know exactly what is going to happen and they know where price is going to go to next, they're fucking lying. They're fraudulent, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen. Candles take on a life of their own. That's why every trade is its own trade. Every trading opportunity is its own opportunity. And for every person, every trading opportunity is different for every person. Period. There's 100 million different things that could happen. You're not supposed to predict what is going to happen. You react to what is happening. Okay? But you also want to have an idea at the same time of if a certain thing presents itself, how are you going to respond? Right? So yeah. Really pretty short and simple here. You can even see this is actually kind of a really nice SR flip, right? This was a resistance, broke through it, catapulted through it, and are now finding this resistance back again as support. So that would be an even greater indication if we were to close below, say, 86,400. If we were to close below here, that's telling us this area of support is not really supporting anymore, right? It was an area of resistance that we are trying to turn into support. If it breaks through here, it's no longer supporting, and the next area of support is at 78,000. Keep it fucking simple, okay? The only thing that would get me, I don't even want to say excited, but that would get me to believe that we're going to move higher for a retracement. And I would only believe that we're going to be moving into a retracement, because obviously we're not trending bullish until we break 125K, right? We're not trending bullish. We can have some interim trends. We can have some short-term trends, but we would have to, we'd have to see some really bullish momentum happening for you to believe, or for me to believe, that sentiment is flipping bullish and that price action is flipping bullish, and we can turn bulls again. All right. For now, you're just range trading, and we're firmly bearish at this point. Yeah. So I was gonna go over Ethereum and all these other things, but I don't really think it matters. Honestly, I don't really think it matters. As a matter of fact, if there's any indication that we are firmly bearish, it is Ethereum. Look at this weekly candle. We're printing a shooting star here. We had a huge push up, rejected, finished bearish, broke the bearish low, or broke the bullish candle low, and now we're moving our way down. I would say that, this looks like it's firmly ready for 2780, potentially down towards 2200. If we close below 2780, 2200 is definitely in the scope. Okay, so I don't really think that there's nothing to look at here. Honestly, everything rides as Bitcoin goes right now. So whatever Bitcoin does, the rest of the market is going to do, and I think that is very obvious. And if it's not obvious to you, then maybe you should just not be trading. Okay, so we're firmly focused on Bitcoin right now. So that is what I'm looking for. Those are the only things that I'm looking for to get involved in trades right now. Potentially a pop up to 90,000, but we would need price to break and close above this area of resistance, above 94,000, for me to believe that we have any room to run further, maybe up into 100,000. Until that happens, we're either just going to continue ranging here, or we're going to break down, in my opinion. And it looks like right now, if you're just looking at this, this doesn't look like a chart that wants to go higher at all, right? It looks like it wants to, bloop, maybe we get a V bottom or something. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But as it stands right now, you know, things are looking rather un-Christmas like. We'll say that. They're looking un-Christmas like. You know? But that's okay. We still have good opportunities to trade, and that's all that really matters. So that's going to do for me. I don't want to keep y'all for too long. That's pretty much the bottom line here. Break below 84,500. We got room to move towards 78,000. Break above 94,000, and we have room to move back up towards 100,000. See how we react to those price levels there. In between, you know, you just have to look for your opportunities to take some decent trades. Okay, but there's a very clear range being built here, and you don't want to lean too much into either bias as long as we're ranging, because you can be wrong either way until price decides that it wants to break out one way or another. All right. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do me a favor, smack a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already. Turn on your notification bells so that way you never miss an upload that we have coming out for you guys. I will definitely be a lot more consistent with the uploads. We've really just been doing a whole lot of nothing. You know, we've just been ranging. We've just been trading sideways since November. Okay, so there's not really been a whole lot to report. There still isn't, but I wanted to come in and give you guys a heads up where my head is at right now, what I'm looking at, where I'm looking towards, and what I think is coming next. I personally think that, you know, 78K, 75K is very likely. I don't see how we don't trade there unless we just get a fucking bazooka candle that lifts us out of this range. The longer that we're in this range down here, the more likely it is, in my opinion, that we're going to trade lower. Okay, so be prepared. That's all I'm going to say. Now, if we get a pleasant surprise and just get a crazy fucking candle that breaks out of here and wants us to move higher, by all means, I'm for it. Obviously, I would prefer to see prices go up. But if they're not going up, you can't force trades up that are not going up. That's how you lose your account. We just trade the market the way that it tells us to trade it. All right. So anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Again, hit the follow, hit the sub, turn on notification bells. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.